Hey everybody, it's Eric Norton, that's Matt Bible. It is the week of Super Tuesday, and we got a little throwback retro editions of Box Busters for you here. Matt, tell us what this is.
This is Decision 92 as produced by Wildcard back in the early 90s for the 1992 presidential election. Now, for those of you who may not remember Wildcard, they were a company in the early 90s that primarily known for football and basketball draft pick sets. They would have their patented stripe parallels, where they have 5, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, and we have those in here. So we're going to crack these open and kind of have a little bit of nostalgia for elections.
Awesome.
Back when elections were intelligent and well thought out, and when the candidates practiced strategery, as W would say.
Strategery.
So
I love the feel of the pack. It feels very 1992-ish.
It feels like a wild card pack.
It smells 1992-ish.
Yep.
I don't know what's up with that.
I'll just pick out some of the good stuff in here.
Now, as he said, we're looking for the stripe parallels.
This makes me laugh because I look at it. It shows George H.W. golfing, and it says the nomination process as the title of the card. Oh my goodness gracious!
There's Tricky Dick right here.
Yeah, we have. There's other politicians and other presidential candidates that are in from past, and you got celebrity endorsements. You've got issues, hot button issues.
Mr. Thurgood Marshall and the saga of Clarence Thomas and sexual harassment.
Something involving a Coke can is all I remember, and of course I get the same one. I
beat you to it, huh?
Now here's something cool. Here's the surprise card. I guess what happens if you put a full set of the one of the stripe sets together, I can't remember which value it was, you'd send that in with it and you would get a surprise card, which ended up being like the VP nominees like Al Gore and things like that.
He created the internet, you know that.
Yeah. Created the internet.
Wow. This is I was 11 when this was going. You were what?
I was 18.
18, yeah. So awesome. I got one of those wild card surprise cards too. Watergate.
There you go. There's Perot with his wife, I'm guessing. I'm hoping.
Can I finish? One of
the things I remember most about this election, sad as that is Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Just did this election and just destroyed it through comedy.
JFK assassination.
Not too far away from here.
Yeah.
Not too far away from here.
A little information about it on the back. Great new series coming out on, Hulu about the JFK assassination, starring Mr. James Franco himself.
Yes, indeed. And that was brought to us by J.J. Abrams. He's the one who produced it. Turning out the vote. Now this looks like Madonna. This is when we got in the whole MTV Rock the Vote era. This is when this was kind of before that, but I mean, this election actually kind of really started that. That's when they really started doing the whole Rock the Vote, because social issues were at the forefront again in the 90s. And it's really, this election was kind of known for...
Hey, tell me if you've heard this before. Clinton battles new sex charges.
I heard it yesterday. No.
And here's Bill on saxophone. I'm not sure that's the Arsenio Hall set, but it happened nonetheless. And over here, the crowd of people who don't believe that I'm talking about Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
That's a bad reference.
There's a nice little reference to possible Republican VP selections. Colin Powell. I remember for the longest time he was always rumored.
Yes, he was. Here is Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey.
Oh, there's a joke to be made there, and I'll just leave it alone.
Lee Harvey Oswald. I think of Gary Oldman more about Lee Harvey Oswald than I do actually Lee Harvey Oswald. since he played Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK.
Right.
And these packs repeat really, really quick. I mean,
Yes,
I'm
sure do.
seeing stuff I've already seen like once or twice.
Jesse Jackson. Oh, is this a parallel with the gold 92 on it?
Bob Dole loves America. Bob Dole. Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. Bob Dole.
Dan Aykroyd's impression of Bob Dole. I'd always stand up.
Here's our first parallel, or what are they called?
Stripes.
With the stripes, yeah. Here's a five stripe.
Flashback, and
that's pretty cool. Oh, we can't let this one pass us by. Mr. Willie Nelson, people.
Oh, poor old Willie.
In the most awkward position he could probably be in the arms of Jesse Jackson.
I can remember when a dime bag cost a dime. There's probably a very forgotten Democratic nominee or potential nominee, Paul Tsongas. Not too long after I think he passed away of cancer. But yeah, there was a lot of guys vying for it. Who was it? Jerry Brown and all kinds of different. Here's another one of those eerie flashbacks that we're doing. Democratic National Convention, and as you'll notice in the background, what do we see? The World Trade Center.
Here's the Republican National Convention.
That was in Texas that year,
Dallas,
wasn't it?
right?
Yep.
Dallas, right there in our backyard.
Whew. This is kind of bringing back some. I think it's funny that most of the stuff I'm remembering about this stuff is stuff related to Saturday Night Live and all kinds of movies and.
Look at her. She's even then she knew he was a liar. Look at her.
Yeah. There's Jerry Brown. Take Back America. And you know, it is amazing how even 24 years later, you see things like that, and it's very repetitive.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing that we still fall for the same junk.
They have the same rhetoric over
The same, all the same talking points and the same lines. They just change it up a little bit.
Were there autographs or anything in this?
No, this was pre-autograph. This is before autographs really kind of hit the. I don't even think autographs really, were that. I don't think they had that many in sports, did they at the time?
Yeah, not even in sports.
Star Picks and Classic, I think, were the only two companies doing that at the time. But I'm not sure if you covered that one, but. The closest election history between JFK and Richard Nixon.
I'm getting sidetracked by the backs. There's a lot of information on there.
Yep,
it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean it's it's one of the things I think that's different now. Cards now is you see cards with multiple images now and very little information on the back.
Right. Keep.
Oh, there's
abortion legal. There's a
very sinister, evil card.
There's a pro-choice card that even back in '92 was a relevant issue.
Yep.
And to lighten things,
it still is.
There's Arnold.
Yep, Arnold, who would eventually be the governor.
The governor, yes.
Oliver Stone, who directed JFK, and of course, he's very outspoken about his experience in Vietnam, and
yes,
ended up getting an Oscar out of it for Platoon.
Ooh, Dan Quayle. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Don't get me started on Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle. You are just flying through.
Robin Williams had this old joke on Johnny Carson. Dan, what do you think about Roe versus Wade? Oh, I prefer to float. Okay.
Hey, there's a moose.
And there is after this. Post Soviet Union, Boris Yeltsin.
Boris Yeltsin. I came across it a moment ago. This is an interesting one, given just what's on television with the People versus O.J. Simpson. This is Rodney King. How that series actually started was was some flashback shots of that trial and the riots that pursued afterwards.
Here's something that was a very fresh story at the time.
Yes,
Both Magic Johnson contracting the HIV virus and the AIDS virus. Very hot button issue. Everybody wanted to know where the candidates stood on that issue.
We've got another parallel wild card, number 5 stripe. The Republican Party. This is pretty cool. I like
There's somebody who is very, depending on the side of the fence you're on, very despised or very loved. As they come to call her, as Hanoi Jane. Jane Fonda.
This is repetitive after a while, like you said.
It is.
It's still,
But it's, it's very interesting. I mean, it takes me back to, I remember all these things going on the news. I mean, this was also a time when the 24-hour news stations were really just starting to pick up steam. We didn't have the internet back then. I mean, the internet existed, but it was in its very, very infancy.
Yeah.
So we had to depend on 24-hour news shows. Here's kind of a cool picture of past presidents all together. I guess you got Nixon and Ford and Carter and Reagan and who else was? I don't know if anybody else would still be alive at that point, other than those major ones. But so we're getting down there. We're getting down to that point.
You got a few more left. I got a few more left here.
Yeah.
Including billionaire Ross Perot's special subset.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that on the front when I started digging into this.
Let's see if anybody get the reference here. Election 1912. Anybody get the reference of the moose?
The moose? I don't get the reference.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
The Bull Moose Party. The Bull Moose.
That made me look like an idiot for showing that card earlier, not knowing what it was.
Oh, you showed it?
Yeah, but that's okay.
H. Ross Perot. I think I got. No, that's just the regular Pro. That's kind of a cool card. I forget how small Ross Perot is.
Very, very tiny person, right? He's got small fingers, short fingers.
Just like another candidate we know, currently leading the one of the parties in a nomination process.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Dana Carvey and his wonderful Ross Perot impression. And of course another, you probably already showed this, but another hot button issue.
I haven't showed it, but I'm glad you did.
Has not waned at all. It's
still
a very significant issue. It's the Middle East, as usual.
20-something years later, it's still
hot topic. Still a hot button issue. I'm looking for. Well, maybe that is a. I'm looking for the pro subsets. I guess that probably might be one of them. The pro saddles up. He's on the sports and he's ready to go. It was back when he was a young lad in Texarkana.
Still wasn't able to finish.
Nope.
Just tiny little Perot fingers and not growing.
1860. Wait, did you show the Abe Lincoln card yet?
No, I have not.
There you go.
These are starting to stick.
Election of 1860. Definitely a crucial election. Because if that wouldn't have been the man selected, it's a good chance the Civil War probably would have been going on for a lot longer than it actually did.
Now, yesterday was Super Tuesday. Yesterday, this is turning out to vote. Looks like the Georgia. I can't tell you I saw anybody in line yesterday that was dressed like that. But it's important that they got out to exercise their vote. So.
Yeah, get out there and vote.
All right, last pack.
Last one.
Here we go.
Well, maybe there's something. One cut signature of
that we've already.
George Washington.
Republicans on abortion. So here is the other side of the abortion, the pro-life argument there. Wow.
Oh, hey.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first. That's kind of that was a hot button issue too. That was that pre or post? I can't remember if that song had come out with that Ice-T song had been released at that time.
It's probably right around the
right
same
around
time.
that same time, I believe.
All right, so I'm going to show you 3 of them here. There's the pro-life, pro-choice there. Gay rights, still a hot button issue. Wow. Still a hot button issue today. Wild card 20 there.
Oh, Jane Fonda.
Jay Fonda. There you go. And Mr. Ice-T, right around Cop Killer. That song, Cop Killer.
And this is more of the same, really, of what's going on now with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and the war on police. But yeah, I remember when that song came out, and that was a very hot topic at the time.
This is before he was tracking down high-profile cases on Law and Order SVU.
Yep.
Helping out Olivia.
Yeah, helping Olivia out.
You know, got to do that.
Being Richard Belzer's sidekick.
The thing about him on that show is he always looks surprised about whatever they tell him. He's just can't handle what's going on in his head. But that's just a character. I'm sure Mr. Ice-T is not like that himself.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, guys. That's enough riff-raff. But that was interesting. I liked it a lot. There was a lot of cool throwback stuff in there for us older heads. You younger guys might not get it as much, but either way, it's cool. There's some history on the back.
Yep.
What'd you think, buddy?
I liked it. It took me back to that young age where you think you get ambitious and want to make a difference and going out and voting and all that stuff.
Yeah. So. All right. And if not, you at least learn who Ice-T was, you know?
Yeah.
So, guys, until next time, this is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
Just keep ripping. Fat packs.